Welcome to Bedcrime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. Hi guys, I thought I would have my coffee as I talk to you this morning. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Chris Proudfoot, he likes to talk. He might even love to talk. And that's no shade. That is just an observation. And it seems like he likes to talk at night and over long periods of time. So maybe that 3-hour conversation that he had with his wife Katie on Sunday night into Monday morning wasn't so unusual. Chris showed up on a YouTube channel called Queen Bee. I did an earlier video about this. This video today is part 2. And I'd say this part of the discussion was a tad more interesting than the last part. So let's begin. Chris said that he, Seth, and Katie need to air out some, quote, indifferences. I've noticed that sometimes Chris doesn't use the right words, and this can make for confusion. Now, the first thing I'm going to share with you is when Chris Proudfoot first turned up on the panel and what he had to say about some items that were found and that the police apparently did not agree to take in and test.
There was a blanket or something some lady saw at a Tractor Supply parking lot.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And so they gave me and fiance a trash bag and some nitrile gloves, and we went up there and bagged it because the lady, she did say she waited for the cops in the parking lot for 45 minutes.
I'd say, is this you, Chris? You back here?
Yeah, so if you want to know about that evidence, I can tell you about it because Seth told me about what it was.
Yeah, Seth, fill us in, man. Fill us in. Nice to meet you.
Likewise,
And thank you and Katie for your service.
Oh, it's because you're worth it.
We're here for you guys. We support you in everything that you're doing. We support you and stand with you.
Well, thank you. But the evidence that Seth and had mentioned that they had and stuff was there was apparently a black sweatshirt that said Yellowstone on it that they found in some woods or something. They said there was a blanket that they found and things of that nature. They tried to turn it in to law enforcement, and law enforcement asked them where they found it. And when they gave them the information about it, they were kind of like, okay. Doesn't really kind of fit the area where they were looking. But when he was trying to make a point of it, I'd said, well, why don't you just do a DNA test? Swab your cheek and swab the material and submit it in and find out what it is. And if it's nothing, you can throw it away. I don't know where they went with it, but that's basically what it is. They said they found a blanket, they found a sweatshirt.
Now that's interesting. If such items are being found, they aren't being tested. Did they call Katie and say, did Sebastian have a Yellowstone sweatshirt? Did he have a blanket that looked like X? You would think that law enforcement would take anything that people find if it's remotely sounding like it could be related to the case. Chris also said this about the relationship between him, Seth, and Katie.
Well, this goes back to the old saying, the first impression is a lasting impression. And although that is may be true, I did not necessarily make the best impression to some people. And that is an impression that they're going to have of me. I'm okay to accept that. But I'm also okay to extend and say, you don't really know me.
Yeah.
So until you actually get to know me, I'm asking that you reserve your opinions about myself, my wife, and Seth. I mean, but Seth is doing his own thing. I am not bashing.
Absolutely.
And don't get me wrong. Anybody asked me to start, your answer is no. And I want to start the conversation. I think everybody has to understand something. I didn't say I'm not upset with him. I didn't say that.
Right.
What I said is I'm not bashing him.
Yeah.
When Seth is ready to sit down and have a conversation, and that conversation would be something between me, him, and Katie, and nobody else, then that conversation, we will have to air out some indifferences.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, the likely odds of him and Katie sitting down, I don't see that possibly happening, honestly, just because she is a mom, the mother to his son, and I just don't know. I just don't see it happening.
So per Chris, Katie does not want to speak with her ex-husband, Seth Rogers. I wonder if this is because Seth has said in the past that he thinks it's possible Katie may have given Sebastian too much sleep medication, and that could have caused his death. Or could it be that Katie does not want to answer Seth's questions regarding Sebastian's disappearance? Remember, in the beginning of the case, Seth said that Katie and Chris did not speak to him for 2 weeks. At one point in the conversation, Chris expressed being upset that Dolly of Dolly Vision flew a drone over his house. Chris said it was good that he wasn't home. He said he might have reacted in a certain way. The panel then ripped into Dolly and called him a, quote, tragedy pimp. Dolly flew to Hendersonville and he tried to search for Sebastian. That's more than the people on this panel have done, from what I understand. The panel and Chris don't seem to like people who want answers to the hard questions. The reason people are suspicious when it comes to Chris and Katie Proudfoot is because they didn't go straight to the news to share information about Sebastian's disappearance. Instead, they showed up on YouTube, and I think it was a week after Sebastian went missing. They haven't pleaded for Sebastian's safe return. They moved away from the home Sebastian vanished from. They didn't speak to Seth for those 2 weeks. They haven't attended the vigils for Sebastian, but that could be because they're afraid of being confronted at those vigils. They've shown up on YouTube lately laughing and shooting the shit and not really critical information about Sebastian's disappearance. So of course it looks suspicious. What do you want us to do? But then I also have to remind us all that the police keep saying that there's no evidence of foul play. But to me, a kid vanishing from his home barefoot late at night or in the early morning hours when it's cold outside screams foul play. That's just my opinion. But it is an autistic child whose father has said that although he's 15, he seems more like he's 10.
You can buy the magnetic sheets, look on Amazon, and then they run through like an inkjet printer. But that might be something that a bunch of us could get together and try to do.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, whatever we can do, let me know and try to get on it.
Does Chris's laughter there seem rather odd? Is he betraying himself there? Like, we'll try to get on it. You guys know we're not going to try to get on it.
I mean, honestly, I really would love to find a way to, with the help of everybody, to try to form an event. And it wouldn't necessarily be strictly Sebastian. It's got to be all these missing children and pull it together and try to get everybody to be bringing awareness and finding a way to fundraise, crowd surf, money, whatever, to
Amen.
A way to make it noticeable. If there's a way to blanket every single state across the country with billboards, with rotating, with like, have you seen us? And it's pictures of children that have been missing. You know, please contact, it doesn't matter what law enforcement, just contact law enforcement and provide a number, or the National Center for Missing Children.
I have to say it surprises me that Sebastian's mother and Chris Proudfoot aren't pushing hard to just bring greater awareness to Sebastian's case. Again, it's only been 3 months. Now's the time to be selfish and put the spotlight strictly on Sebastian. There's just no sense of urgency to rally people to look for Sebastian. That is questionable. It just is. Now suddenly Chris Proudfoot is the Pied Piper of missing kids throughout the land, even though we haven't seen him advocating very much for Sebastian, searching for Sebastian. It's almost like Chris is willing to search for any other child, but he just won't search for Sebastian. By the way, at some point during this chat, Chris said that his life is very boring. He's working a lot, especially at night, as opposed to during the day.
I'm going to tell you now, that's very boring. Very, very boring, because there's not much to watch. You see my truck, you see my trailer. I go to work. I come back, go to my trailer. Ooh, exciting life. Look out, everyone.
Right, and you do it the opposite schedule as everybody else.
Yeah.
I do now, but before, I was on days. Now I'm on nights. And it's okay.
Oh. Sometimes you clean your truck, too. I mean, that might be a thing, too.
I mean, truck got a bath today. Look out.
But then Chris says this.
Oh, you want to look at it. It can go both ways. And here's why I say that. Do I agree what they doing is correct? No, I don't. Not at all. I'm not condoning it. However, what it is doing, though, is it does keep Sebastian's situation, not Sebastian's name, the situation in the forefront. So it's not necessarily allowing the case to go completely cold, but yes, a lot of people have pulled back from what I've heard. A lot of the drama, they've said it's a lot of mental stress, honestly. And I understand that. But I'm begging and I encourage people to please take the drama away. Cool. But just don't forget that it is a 15-year-old autistic child that we are all looking for.
Sorry, but I don't think we're all looking for Sebastian. Doesn't sound like Chris is looking for Sebastian, and it doesn't sound like Katie's actively looking for Sebastian. And the people out there who are looking for him, namely someone named Terry Lynn, who has her own YouTube channel, these people find reason to mock and criticize, and I don't get it. If you're not willing to get off your duff to go look, why are you criticizing someone else who is? Chris also borrowed some verbiage from Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, who has expressed that he's worried about the case turning cold. Chris also said that he doesn't want the case to turn cold. I decided to look up the definition of cold case to see if there even is such a definition, and basically it says that a case isn't officially cold until at least 3 years have transpired with absolutely no forward movement in the case. So Sebastian's case is definitely not yet cold. And by the way, I saw a community post by Jules Valenti, the dog handler, who is currently searching for Sebastian in Tennessee. She indicated that she had a lot of hope right now that the case would be solved, that she would find something. That actually gave me some hope yesterday, just reading that, so hopefully that gives you guys some hope too. The panel then had a very long chat about defamation and slander on YouTube. They were basically attacking Dolly of Dolly Vision, but I would like to know what Chris would have to say about himself and that phone call he had with the private investigator, Heather Cohen. Did he not slander the other PI, Chloe, in that call? He pretty much called her every foul name you can call a woman. He also questioned whether she was a real private investigator. She is a licensed investigator. To me, that is slander. That could lead to Chloe perhaps losing work, having her career and her reputation put in jeopardy. Chris was also very upset with Dolly for coming out with a soap called Come Clean Katie. Number one, who cares? Is this a critical issue when it comes to Sebastian being found? And is he not allowed to call the soap Come Clean Katie? He didn't call it Come Clean Katie Proudfoot. Yes, we all know who he's referring to, but still, this is a small issue when your child is missing. Why do you even have time to listen to Dolly Vision, to know that he came out with that soap? Chris also said he doesn't think that YouTube is helping Sebastian. Well, why then are you spending so much time on it, dude? Please keep doing it, because I love hearing what you have to say. If he's worried about the case going cold, we on YouTube are the ones who can make sure that that doesn't happen, at least in the sense of keeping Sebastian's name and face out there. We're not going to forget about Sebastian. We haven't forgotten about Summer Wells. Now, Katie also turned up on this panel, and Chris said that every day is a struggle, and Katie has to be a big girl and move forward, but that the emotional baggage will always be there. Well, maybe not, Chris. What if Sebastian is found? I keep trying to keep hope alive, and if Sebastian were my child, I'd be clinging to the hope, especially at only 3 months out. There is still hope.
How is she holding up?
She just stated like shit.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
It's like I said, every day you get up, it's a different day, and you have to put 1 foot forward. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a struggle. She got her. She's doing her. Got to be a big girl and do her thing and keep moving forward. But I mean, the emotional baggage and everything, it will always be there.
And hopefully he comes home soon, your son. I hope he comes home soon. And maybe, this could be just a bad memory. You can move on.
Did you notice the long pause there? Neither Chris nor Katie piped up to say, yes, hopefully he comes home soon. Please, God, let him come home soon. They're just silent.
I could add to it. She's thinking right now, but some of the things I would add to it is, the world operates on networking, connections and networking. Who you know and what you know. And everybody out there, doesn't matter how small or how big the connections may have connections to something that can always contribute to posting a flyer, putting it up on a sign, radio stations. I don't know. I mean, people have friends in the most weirdest places that sometimes those friends can be extremely beneficial. And there's no other way to make this possible without human interaction. So to me, connecting with people is like the biggest thing out there.
A lot of people have said that the Proudfoots are pretty prominent in the area and that they have ties to law enforcement. Clearly, Chris believes in connections and he feels that they make all the difference. So I'm just wondering. I had to mention it.
And wherever you are, I would say wherever you are across the country, because I know there's people all over the place watching. Just to, if you're out and about and you have flyers, just keep asking businesses to spread them. Some chains will spread them to their other stores.
In case you don't know, that was Katie's voice. And she does sound emotional. She also sounds maybe tired or medicated. Now, when she first started speaking, I thought she was going to directly speak to Sebastian, and then she stopped and redirected and addressed people out there who can put up flyers. Take a listen to that once again.
And wherever you are, I would say wherever you are across the country, because I know there's people all over the place watching. Just to, if you're out and about and you have flyers, just keep asking businesses to spread them.
Here's another part where Katie chimes in.
She says thank you. And see, she does speak. She doesn't speak often, but she does. I understand people are trying to find an answer. Truly, I got it. I understand that. But
I want an answer more than all of you combined, I promise.
I bet.
Now, Katie does speak at length about Sebastian, and it is really refreshing and wonderful to hear her talk about him.
I'm hoping it's going to work on finding Bubba.
Me too.
For the record, I'm the only one that really calls him Bubba.
I think that's cute.
Oh, yeah.
What the sweetest.
You love his little sweet tea, what was
Green
it? The green tea video? Yeah.
Oh,
Green tea. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, Mama." And I said, "Oh, this is going to be good. Hold on." And I pulled out my phone, and he went, "Green tea." And then I stopped recording, but right after that, he just thought he was the funniest person on planet Earth. I mean, he was doubled over laughing at himself. And I wish I'd have kept recording, but he did. No shit, y'all. He bent over laughing because he thought he was just so funny.
I tell you what, though, man, he'll get a one-liner in there every once in a while,
He gets
and you just kind of like, really? Where'd you pull that out of?
Did you? Dude, that was a good one. And they come out of nowhere too when you're not expecting it, and you just like lose your place, and you're like, did you just verbally kick my ass?
That's cute.
He does have a lot of personality. I mean, he's got that teenage attitude going on where he's all over the place. So one minute he's angry, and next minute he's laughing and joking, and the next minute he's like, "I'm going to my room." What are you doing? Nothing. I don't want to know. He's still young at heart too, you know, like mentally he's young. He still likes to play with his Legos, and he likes.
Hey, I'll play with Legos. Watch out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I like Legos too, though. So.
Well, he has. I think it's called Marble Run. It's where you can build. It's like a puzzle, but you build like little tracks, and it's got marbles, and they race down the tracks. It's super fun. But that's been one of his latest things that he'd been playing with. He was all about making his marble runs. Well, everybody in the world knows his favorite video game, Minecraft. But I don't know. He loves to play Mario Kart. He's got all the Mario games, Mario 8, Mario, all the Mario racing games. I can't remember all of them. The Superstars. Every time he hears of a new Mario game coming out, he's like, "I gotta have that one." And we sit up with we've even got the little, like wheels, the racing wheels.
Steering wheel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Do you put the little Switch controller in and turn it into a steering wheel?
Yeah.
Oh, it gets serious. He'll be like, "You're going down." Well, the worst part is he kicks my butt half the time in it too. Well, it's like the picture with him in front of the big trophy. That was a thing that we took him to for his birthday, and we let him pick his team, and I'll be darned if they didn't win.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he was super excited with that.
Well, it's one of those game show experience things. So you go in and it's like you're on a game show, because he loves watching game shows on the Game Show Network. He's obsessed with Family Feud.
Get after my own heart.
Mm-hmm. Loves Family Feud. Hell, he watches Wheel of Fortune with me. He don't never guess the puzzles. But I'm trying to remember the name of the other one that he likes watching. It's the one with the whammies.
Press your luck.
Press your luck.
Break the
Press
luck.
your
Yeah.
luck. He likes
Yeah.
that one too.
Big bucks, big
It's called a
bucks,
casino.
no
That
whammy.
used to be one of my favorites.
He sits in here, "No whammies."
What's his favorite color?
Green.
Green. What was his
Green through and
what-
through, no questions asked.
What's his favorite subject in school?
Math.
Oh, that kind of depends. There's some days he's like math, some days PE.
Oh,
Yeah, it depends on what
That's
they're
a good
doing.
choice.
It
That's a
depends
good
on It depends on if he got to do what he wanted to do that day or not.
Yeah, there you go.
So what about The Price is Right? Did he like watching that?
No, he didn't really watch that one very much. Family Feud is his favorite. That's his number one go-to.
Favorite food?
Oh, God.
Sushi.
Well, I was going to say sushi, but tofu is a good contender.
No, he'll prefer
But
sushi.
plain tofu, not fried tofu.
Steamed.
Like steamed. No sauce.
Oh my goodness. It
That's
must
odd
be
for a kid.
for him.
Mm-hmm. Just plain tofu, warmed up. Mm-hmm. Eat it all day long. But sushi, I'd have to say, is probably his number one favorite. But tofu's up there with it.
So they are using the present tense to talk about Sebastian at times, sometimes the past tense. I'll give them that. They're using the present tense here. Is that because they've schooled themselves now and they know that they're supposed to use the present tense, or are they just speaking normally? Are they just letting it flow?
He got turned on tofu because we went to it was either a pho or a Thai restaurant. And we went to have, this is in California.
Now I remember.
Katie and I went and had, I think it was curry. And
They don't eat anything even remotely.
Yeah, anything spicy, he just like, oh God, no. Pepper is like eating habanero pepper to him. I mean, that's how sensitive he is. But he didn't like anything on the menu. And she was like, well, I have tofu. And he was like, tofu? And she was like, yeah. So she brought him a piece of it fried and a piece of it steamed for him to try. And he bit in the fried one and he was like, ugh. But when she let him have the piece of that steamed, I don't think he could get it in his mouth fast enough, and that included the entire cube. It was ridiculous. But ever since then, he's been strung on tofu.
Oh, yeah, he loves fish. If you offer the kid fish or steak, it's fish every time. No questions asked. Mm-hmm. He's pretty healthy. He likes his vegetables. He loves the little sweet peppers and bell peppers, and he eats like squash and zucchini. I mean, Brussels sprouts. Oh, my God. Every single time we go to the store, Mom, will you eat Brussels sprouts? What's worse is I'm sitting here cutting them up, trying to prep them to cook them, and he's eating them raw fast as I can cut them.
What's his favorite junk food?
Anything chocolate?
Anything with sugar in it. Nutella. Honestly, chocolate malt, extra malt.
Someone then asked if Sebastian has any allergies, and this is how the conversation went.
He has allergies, kick his butt, because he's allergic to grass. So whenever the grass is pollinating, his allergies get really bad for him. As far as any, like, serious allergies like peanuts or anything like that, no, we haven't found any food allergies, just being picky about some stuff. But no, he's outside of grass pollen,
Right.
we really don't know any other allergies.
He's allergic to schoolwork, chores.
Yeah, homework and chores. There's a serious aversion there, but
He's a teenager. We have to give him that.
wearing deodorant.
That again is a typical teenage boy.
Well, that's something that we've been really, really working on, because other people had been like, is he wearing deodorant, Mom? And I was like, I'm trying.
I didn't think it was very nice that Chris popped in with he has an allergy to doing his homework and chores. Again, that's more of that sort of victimizing the victim, saying negative things about Sebastian.
Recent development too.
Yeah.
He's gone through a growth spurt, and it was like overnight I blinked and he had like a little mustache growth coming in, and all of a sudden he was starting to smell and his voice is changing and his hair's getting darker. like it's turning darker, which is why like in some pictures it looks brown, but it's really kind of blonde. But in his eyebrows, he went from like just these like real light eyebrows to, it was like overnight he got big old dark eyebrows. He's really coming into his hormones, and literally I think he grew an inch in a month.
Oh my goodness. Did his feet grow too?
2 shoe sizes. Yeah,
Oh
that's why in the beginning there was all that talk about the shoes, and it was like, how does she know? Like, how do you know? Like, well, because he literally just outgrew them all, and we were in the process of replacing them. We started off with, you know, a new pair of shoes and, you know, a new pair of boots, and you know, we didn't buy sandals yet because it hadn't turned warm yet, and so I told him, I said, when the weather gets warm, we'll buy them then, because who knows if you're going to grow more in another month.
So she said that he smelled, which isn't the nicest way to put that. There are gentler ways of expressing that. She also mentioned all the growth, and that this is why she knew about the shoes, because he had just outgrown all his shoes and they had to replace them. I do find all the giggling kind of weird, and also the very lighthearted tone. Again, it's 3 months out. Most parents who are missing their children, like who have missing children and who are missing their children, will be crying at this point. Yes, she did sound like she was crying earlier. I'm just saying we're not hearing it throughout this conversation. Now, when these ladies ask Katie what's her favorite story about Sebastian, she giggles, and then before she can say anything, Chris Proudfoot chimes in with this.
He's so angry about getting hair on his face. And I was like, well, Bub, we can teach you how to shave it off. And he's like, no. And I was like, so you want to leave it on your face? And he's like, no. I was like, I don't know what to do to help. Like, unfortunately, you got 2 options: have hair or shave the hair. I don't know what else to do. I can't make it not happen.
One word: electrolysis. I'm joking. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this, if you noticed anything that I didn't talk about, and I'll see you next time on Bed Crime Stories. Do me a favor, smash that like button, and please consider a membership, a Patreon membership. Again, if I get enough of those, I can start using the terms that I want to use, and I don't have to rely on ad revenue. See you next time. And to all of those who do help me, thank you so much. Your support really does help.